Welcome and welcome back. It's us again, but it's not only us again. There is even with us, and we are so honored to have him on board, Chris Houston from Implied Music, which we are so happy to have in our judging panel now. And wow, this competition, which I'm still so happy that Marika contacted me and supported these amazing visuals, had over 200 downloads. I think you know this already. We had 50 entries. I mean, 50 entries really is a lot. And the problem is they're all good. They're all good as always. That's the problem by now, as always. So we hoped we would have someone in the very first video. I think we talked about it. We would have someone with us helping us judging. And now we do have Chris. And each of us is having the same Excel sheet where are your names and YouTube channels, and then we have, the overall production and the storytelling and the switching of the mood, and then all these points that we are looking for. And we are doing this, each of us is doing its very own. And by tomorrow, we three will be through. From what I know from you two guys too, we already came down to a top 10, more or less. And then we will compare our three Excel sheets. And then by next Sunday, we will have the three lucky winners. Thanks again, obviously, to Project Sam for sponsoring this with Lumina. So the lucky winner will get one copy of Lumina, which is an amazing library. I already talked a little about it in a very long stream I did years back, and in my latest Project Sam stream. And then, yes, the second prize is a video call with Marika and me, where we can talk about whatever you would like to talk about. And the third prize is one of these loops are bad t-shirts or caps that you can choose. And yeah, Chris, maybe if you would like to say something about how you thought. I mean, you did two amazing things. First, your piano only to the clip, which already was wow, proving that good music doesn't need much of an orchestration. You only did it with the piano and it told the story so perfectly. Then you even uploaded an orchestrated version of that, which, by the way, would be interesting. But you have it already, I think, where you explained precisely what you did there then and how you interpreted that piano to the various instruments and stuff like this. So head over to Chris' channel. The link is in the description. Subscribe, obviously, and check out this video. It's a very interesting video. So Chris, yeah, what's your overall thought, about the whole thing that we came up with, and the 50 entries that you needed to go through?
Thanks, Martin. Well, first of all, Marika, your animation, this picture, this little movie, it was very compelling to me. I mean, I've known Martin now for a few years, and we've worked together quite a bit, and we've done challenges before. I wasn't, on board from the beginning, but when I saw that picture, I had to participate, and I didn't think it would be entirely fair for me to, compete, so to speak. But the picture was so compelling because it tells a really clear story, both with the characters, the text, the motion, and I love the way the camera moved, the colors. All those things are the things that a composer looks for as they scored a picture. And I didn't have much time because I was going on vacation, so I whipped out that piano sketch, which surprisingly a lot of people I thought, responded to. I think just the piano is really expressive, but I wanted to flesh it out and kind of, I'm always looking for a way to teach. And so, if I do an orchestration from a piano sketch, it's to demonstrate ideas, important ideas about, how to use orchestral textures. And so you're right, there's a tutorial about all of that on my website. Visit Implied Music, if you will. But, that aside, when you asked me to judge our entries, I thought, oh, 50? I don't know. But you know what? It wasn't, it was really compelling. We've got a collection of pieces of music with a wide variety of interpretations, a lot of originality, great production. I mean, it's just remarkable what's possible to do now, right? These orchestral sounds, these symphonic sounds, great vocals, excellent use of samples, and some really clever, harmonic writing as well. I don't know. I mean, for me, maybe five or six really rose to the top. Artists who let the picture be the boss. For me, the actual picture, where the cuts are, the tempo of motion, those are the things that should rule. And some people did an amazing job at that. It's fascinating. Now, we're just working in a vacuum here, right? Ordinarily, like Marika would hear my piano sketch and then give me a bunch of notes and say, you know what, at minute one there, just at the turnaround, I really want it to be darker. Here's something that a lot of people did. They went really dark at the end. I just didn't feel that, so I didn't do it. But it's so much fun to see other people's interpretations. I I did all my judging without knowing what Martin had to say or without knowing what Marika had to say. So I'm going to be very curious to see if the three of us agree on who the top five or six are.
Yeah, if not, we will do it like in soccer, we go to the penalties. We will just
Yes, we're going to go to PKs, right?
Yeah, Marika, what's your first impression now that we have those 50 entries and if you needed to go through them, and I think not only once, at least me, one is not enough. One is enough maybe to to how you say, you take the cream off a little bit, but then there are still 25 left that you need to go through a second time, and then there are 10 left, and then you need to go through it a third time, and then you go through all 50 again if you haven't been biased by now, and whoa. Our wheel of names, our wheel of fortune was way easier.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I had a re-listen of most of them, and sometimes I take a day off. So I just stop listening to everything, and then the next day I try to give it a re-listen again, and I find myself finding other entries more interesting. And there was super great entries, and they are super creative, and some are super like using like synths instead of like using an orchestra, and some using a guitar or a piano. And I didn't really expect people to be like this creative. So for me, I was just using like orchestral writing, but they came up with super crazy stuff. That's super amazing to see.
Absolutely. So, one thing that I would like to point out, this was a composer's challenge, just to be very, very clear, because we might have a doubt about something if it was really written by a person in a DAW using instruments, a real instrument, a real voice, a sampled voice, it doesn't matter, or if some artificial intelligence was involved. So we reserve now the right, once we have our three top entries, to contact them and ask for a proof. We know already what we will ask for. We won't tell it by now, but we will ask for things that will be, the 100% proof that the music that you hear was really written by that person in a DAW or a live, or however, it doesn't matter. But it was a composer's challenge, because even if artificial intelligence by now would be able to watch at the picture and then change the mood at the very right moment and all this, which at least from what I know, we aren't at that point yet. But anyhow, we would like to be sure that it was a composer's challenge and people really writing that music and not just coding it. And I think that was important. I think for all three of us, we discussed this earlier. So be prepared around Wednesday, Thursday, maybe you will receive an email from us like, okay, can you please send us this and this, so we can be sure. So then we can come up with by next Sunday with the winner announcement. And I'm nearly sure we are through for today. Or am I missing something, Marika, Chris? I think this is what we wanted to tell the people, that we are now three, and really, really honored to have Chris on board as a judge. And there's still 1 week for us left to listen to everything, to judge everything, and should be this.
I think that's it. I haven't got anything to add. Like Marika, I was very impressed by the variety of entries, by the
Mhm.
creativity and originality, by the high production values. I would say, we had a category in judging, just overall impression. And for me, it, like there was no low overall impression anywhere. Even things I was like, I would never do that. It still kind of sounded great, right? And of
Yeah,
course, when you're writing music to picture, you're trying to, you're kind of making an argument to the listener. You're saying, it's like this. And so everyone did such a good job at that. It was very exciting to sort of experience that. And like Marky said, if you put down everything and you come back to it the next day, somebody else's argument wins today. It, and you know what? This is encouraging to me because I do this professionally, right? I write music to picture for ads and for theater and things like that. And some days the director or the producer goes like, "No, that's terrible." And the same thing the next day might be a win. It's a reason not to be discouraged, right? And
yeah,
just kind of to be able to say, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to do this thing which I'm interested in. I mean, having so many entries, it really drove that point home for me. There's so many different ways to solve the same challenge.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, there have been some entries, Marika, we talked about it, that at least we thought, like, wow, it's there, but with a little bit of EQing, a little bit of mixing, a little bit of mastering, a little bit, it would have been, going through it. It's still, they're all amazing. Not taking off anything from anyone, but there have been things that we were just like, whoa, whoa, maybe 1 hour more, and this track would have been 100% perfect. Now it's only 98%, which is the level is that high. But anyhow, so maybe if you're interested, whoever's watching this video, leave your comments down below. We might even do, once the challenge is over and once the winners are announced, a video where we just go through some of the entries where we think, wow, you could have improved simply by whatsoever. This is just even something that with Chris, you're on board since a few days. With Marika, we talked a little more, but from today on, it's us three. But there have been some where we just had like, wow, why didn't he or she do the final thing? But you let us know in the comments if you would be interested in something like this or not. And I think that's it from our side for today. See you in the next video or in the next live stream. Make good music always, and see you next Sunday then for the winner announcement. I think
Bye,
that.
everybody.
Bye.
See you,
Bye-bye.
Martin. See you, Marco.